Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com, and I'm in the Florida Panhandle between Tallahassee and Pensacola, and I'm going towards Pensacola. So I'm leaving the state. Probably take me about 3 hours, something like that, before I get to the border. But I wanted to kind of show you a little bit. A lot of these trees have been stripped, and a lot of this is leftover from the last hurricane. They had a big hurricane down here, and it went inland a lot. I'm on Interstate 10, and it went further in than what I was thinking, but I say this is mainly tornadoes and rain and this type of stuff. But I finished up. I was with a country boy, and north, like I say, it was right close to the Georgia line, and we had a good time together, talking and enjoying each other's company and trying to straighten things out somewhat. And what's happened, the southern part of Florida, I'd say the southern half maybe, well, most of Florida is sand, and but further north you get, then it starts getting to be dirt. And so what's been happening? Wow, see all of this. This is all down from the hurricane, so it's big. And but the southern half of the state is really civilized. I'd say the east and the west coast, they're civilized also. There's a lake in the middle of the state. I don't remember the name of it, but you won't miss it when you see a map. And from that on up to the center and the Panhandle are most of the country folk, and they are the real Florida folk. Everybody else is northerners moving down and setting up shop. And I mean, this is where you find the big Wigglies up here, and all the Walmarts and stuff are where the more civilized folk are. And see, I was with when I first came down, I stayed with a guy I was in Vietnam with, another Marine that I was in country with him. We were there at the same time. I don't remember him personally. I say there's 100 of us in a company, but so he was in his own 3-man bunch somewhere else than me. And I spent some time with him, and then when I left and I was coming up to Tampa, north of Tampa, then I stopped and stayed with someone else. It got really hot down there too. Yeah, north or South Florida is really hot, and when it got to 90 and 70 low, I said it's time for me to move on. That's more summertime weather, and that's going to be another problem I'm going to have to deal with. So that's why I went to started heading out and going north. And now, and then from there, and I stayed with that guy, old Mike, Mike with the bunnies and the solar. So I spent some time there with him, and then I came up with Bo, except for it was too muddy. And I thought I was kind of surprised when he said it was too muddy, because mud is one thing I haven't seen in Florida because it's all so sandy. And so I went on to another Mike, and that's Ironworking Mike. And spent some time over there, and then by then it dried up, and I went back over here with Bo, and being real far north of Florida. And so I say, so we talked a lot, and old Bo was more of a farmer, rancher kind of guy, and so we had stuff in common. And that's another thing when you need to do things. And that's one of the things I learned is I get along with people because I've done things and we can relate to each other. Bo at one time was a deputy and deputy sheriff, and at one time he did security, or did what do you call it, at the prison guard. So now I've never been a prison guard, but I say I was a deputy kinda. So, and then I say training SWAT. So we had a lot in common, and it makes a difference when you have things in common. And like I say, one thing I've noticed is I have things shipped to me. I had things shipped to me when I was down in southern Florida, and then now I need more stuff shipping, and I'll be going to Alabama, and so I ordered some stuff, and it's going to be sent to Alabama, and I'll be picking that up in a few days. But so that's been one of the difficulties that I still haven't figured out how to do yet, is shipping. But I'll talk a little bit about more on that later on. Now the weather in Florida is, like I say, it's hotter the further south you go, and so the south half in the winter is nice and warm, and it still gets up to freezing up here, but it's doesn't stay frozen, so it's pretty interesting. And here you can see some more where these trees from that hurricane. Isn't that amazing how big it is? I tell you, the destruction I've seen from this hurricane really gave me respect for hurricanes. I've been chasing them, and I've never been on flat ground where I could go from one side of the hurricane to the other. So this was a big one. I say, when I was doing hurricane chasing, I followed hurricanes and helping people as I followed them. But this is a different thing here. And right now I'm meeting someone in Pensacola, and I'll just be there for the weekend, and then I say I'll head on over to Alabama. I'll be there for a few days. I say I'm slowly working my way west now, and I don't want to get there too early. It's still a little cold, so I'm just going about as fast as the weather will let me go. I'm able to how do you say, get along with the camper. I'm learning more. I can boondock, like say, where I've been out there in the fields. There was completely nothing. I mean, it was all boondocking there. And I'm learning more about what I need to do and how I need to do it, stuff I need, and all that. I say I've been mainly mooch docking, and that's I'm mooching off of people, just settling in someplace. I got someplace I can park my trailer, and then that's normally what I do. I don't normally do campsites, campgrounds, and parks and stuff like that. Matter of fact, I've never done it. So now I may, when I go to Alabama. I don't know what kind of situation I'm getting into. So it may be something that I may have to get in a campground. But I say, so that'll be my first time. And but anyway, so I've spent the winter all over out east, and let's say Florida when it really started getting cold. But wanted to share that with you, and let this got a semi going by me. Let him get by me. I'm doing 65. I could probably go faster, but I'm getting about 10 miles to a gallon using fuel treatment. And but like I say, one thing, when you drive at night, anything that happens is going to be worse. Whatever your problem is, it's going to be worse. You have a flat tire, it's going to be worse when it's at night. Well, it kind of applies when you're pulling an RV. If you have a problem when you're pulling an RV, the problem magnifies. And so far, I haven't had any problems. And like I say, I take my time, in no hurry, and it hasn't been windy, so I've been able to go all the time. But anyway, we'll let you go. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.